The Cardi-Girls, we're Cardi-Girls. I'm gonna say what we want. The Cardi-Girls, singing from the front. The Cardi-Girls, our mouths are our guns, and we here and fighting, cause it has to be done. We're gonna say what we want. The Cardi-Girls, singing from the front. The Cardi-Girls, our mouths are our guns, and we here and fighting, cause it has to be done. We're gonna say what we want.
Break your friends like
Cardi-Girls, singing from
it's like a bit of a free-for-all, isn't it, really?
I think there's an assumption that
For a while now, Jodie, while we talk about some of this week's highlights.
Yep, absolutely.
We're gonna say what we
The
want. The
Carlson,
Cardi-Girls. We're singing from the front. The Cardi-Girls. Our mouths are our guns, and we here and fighting, cause it has to be done.
Hi,
Hello.
how are you?
Oh, a bit morose today, to be honest with you. The whole
Sad time.
the whole situation in Bondi has really hit me, and it's compounded with the fact that I'm getting my dad's house ready for settlement because it's been sold. So we went and said goodbye to it today, and did the final walk around the garden and picked the final bits off trees and things, and walked through one last time, which was pretty
Yes.
sad. But I think I was talking to Michael before we came on, and he gave me a bit of hope. He says he thinks that the majority of Australians have had a gutful of Albanese, and his reaction to this is the first thing he does is talk
Agreed.
about right-wing extremists. That's
And then-
us. That's us.
Well,
Like,
I watched.
what have we got
Yeah,
to
I
do with
know.
it?
I don't know how you can be. That's another smear. Right wing, left wing extremists, whatever, anti-vaxxers, sovereign citizens. It's just another smear that they use. If you actually fronted them and said, "What is a right wing extremist?
Mm.
What is a freedom lover? What is?" I don't think they could really answer you. I just don't think they would. It's a smear. It's just we'll put them in that box and make them really unpopular because that'll take the focus off me. But I don't think they realise that focus hasn't come off them. I think that focus
No.
is on them. Big time.
I think this has really highlighted how ineffective.
Yeah, tragedy,
They are.
absolute tragedy.
Oh,
I mean, I heard Maria Z speak today,
mm.
and then I heard their premier, and apparently the police station's a 6-minute walk from where it happened. And everyone was saying, it took them 20 minutes to get there. Well, it was what days? Maybe there weren't as many on deck because we know a lot of police have left, and they do have an employment number problem. So then when he was interviewed, all he was worried about there were innocent people shot and killed, and he was just worried about the 2 police. What about everybody? It's a tragedy. And then the Israeli Prime Minister jumps in. I don't know. A few questions.
There's
Yeah.
too many questions, isn't there? Too many questions.
And a lot of the podcasters are asking them, so they'll be labelled extreme right, won't they?
I know. Well, a lot of them are really angry. That Carl, is it Carly? Carl, what's her? She's
Yusuf
Carl.
Rose.
Isn't that terrible? I just know what her Instagram handle is. She goes by Carly J Soda, I think. She was.
Oh yes, the girl from Poker Field.
Yeah, is that her? She's got long hair.
Yes. She's a
Yeah,
photographer.
and she just speaks so well. She just speaks so
Yes.
well. She was just saying that enough's enough. Like, if anyone hasn't listened to her, she really.
And then they're blaming
She says what
everyone.
you're trying to say very eloquently.
Yes. And everybody, blame everybody with a gun. Well, I'm pretty sure the bad people, if they want to get a gun, they can get a gun. I think that's been proven over and over and over again.
Stop
It's
them.
not the normal people that are, I mean,
Well, they've
no.
proven it. Like, was it? My husband was saying today that is it in Germany that they've put the barricades to stop anyone doing a drive-through of the Christmas markets? They've
Oh,
had to
how
put up.
horrible.
Yeah, I think it's in Germany or in one of the European countries where they have a big problem, and they've put barricades around the Christmas market so that no one can go driving in there with a car and knock everyone down and kill everyone. So
Well,
guns don't kill people. People kill people.
exactly. If
You'll
people have
find
an
something else.
intent to do it, they will find a way. An
They'll find a
intent to do
way.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
This is like the next step, because they were trying to do that in WA, with the guns, with the farmers, So, and it's been sitting, apparently that legislation's been sitting there for a long time to de-arm everybody. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I reckon there'll be a big pushback against that.
I
People in
hope
rural
so.
areas.
I hope there's a pushback against everything. It's just
It
got
might
to
be
the
like
point.
Bulgaria. See what happened in Bulgaria. The military have sided with the people. There's only 7 million people in Bulgaria, and they've removed their government. They've all walked, and they've brought a new one in.
Yep, well, we
Pretty-
could try that. Let's do that here. Get rid of
It's
that
it was
crazy-
very peaceful. It was just a peaceful walk, the people had had enough. Because I remember early days of the COVID, the Bulgarian doctors put out a really big document against all the COVID stuff.
Yeah,
I've got it here somewhere. It was like a big document against it, and there were doctors speaking out against it. And I thought, Bulgaria, people are going, oh, we wouldn't take any notice of Bulgaria. Well, hang on, they probably had it right
yeah.
day one. And they weren't scared to speak up, whereas we had people who were scared to speak up or weren't listened to.
They have to put bollards in every major city in the West now that it has. When it has, yeah, that's right.
In Melbourne, even they've got them.
Yeah. Bullshit. Yeah.
It is. It's sad, isn't it? It's a sad state of affairs.
We're going to talk about something cheerful tonight.
Yes, we are.
Have you found
so
someone
sad.
for us to brighten our
did.
mood?
She's going to brighten our mood up all right. It's something very, very different. When they say, what's goat mean? The greatest of all time?
Yeah, goat. Yeah, the goat. Trump's the goat. Yeah.
No. Stella's the new goat because Stella's got goats.
Okay. Maybe you have to have goats to be a goat.
Stella is the goat now, the greatest of all time with her goats. So, Kelly, can we bring Stella in?
There she is.
You're
Hello.
the new goat. Move over, Trump.
Thank you. That's a very kind title to give me, actually.
Yeah, well, I came across Stella. I was just, scrolling, looking, and I came across Stella's Instagram page, and I was so taken because I'm a bit of an animal lover. And when I saw those goats, I thought, oh, this is amazing. So I made contact with Stella, which was fantastic. And then that's how we got her to come on the show. So, Stella, before you tell us what you've actually done, how did you fall in love with the goats?
I've always been a massive animal lover, and we had goats growing up. And I've got 3 acres, and I wasn't really doing anything with it. I was kind of adjusting it for free to my neighbour, and I need to find something to do with this property. And then at the same time, I was kind of also looking for something to do for me as well. I was working full time in emergency services, and going home, leaving in the dark, coming home in the dark, and didn't really have much of a life. And then I saw one of these videos, exactly the same as what you've done. As I saw a video on Instagram or something like that, and then as soon as I saw it, and I was like, that's it. That's what I want to do. It's like a 15-second clip, and I was like, that's it, Packgoats. That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And I've got a bit of an obsessive compulsive personality, and once I decide I'm going to do something, very, very hard to stop me. So yeah, I pretty much researched every single thing on the internet that I could find about these goats, and then 6 weeks later, I brought a goat home and learned how to fence, learned how to trim toes, learned everything, every single little thing about goats. I had to teach myself, and that was about 2.5 years ago.
So we forgot to say, if we have a question, we're going to do this.
Okay. Perfect.
Goat, yeah. So my question is, when you started with one goat, did you'd obviously didn't breed them, so where did you get them from?
No, so the first goats I got were for free on Gumtree, and people are giving away goats for free. It's usually for a reason, and I found that reason out pretty quickly. I had
Behavioural problems.
George and Jonesy, and both were pretty grumpy, and they were kind of handable but not. So I was just absolutely covered in bruises from these goats. They just did not want anything to do with me, and I'm out there trying to get them into trailers and leading them around and take them for a walk. No idea what I was doing, but I can say I probably learnt the most from those two, because you learn really quickly about their behaviour, and they can be very bossy. So I guess I started with those two, and I've actually, because they probably weren't the right goats, what I've basically done is I've cycled through people's unwanted pets, Marketplace or Gumtree, or people contact me sometimes. They're like, I hear you're looking for big goats, and I'm like, yeah, the biggest ones that you can find, I'll take them if they're friendly. So so I've cycled through quite a few. Some of them have been in pretty terrible condition when I've got them, a bit little, neglected, worms, fleas, lice, really bad feet, things like that. And then I've got them really friendly, rehabilitated them, and then found them really good homes when I could.
Yeah, so I guess too, they would acknowledge that you often find that you hear people speaking about that when they've rescued an animal. I saw a guy the other day rescued a dog from a puppy farm, beautiful golden retriever, and he said when he got her, she hardly had any hair. She was terrible, and now she's beautiful. It just looks, and just so loving. And the goats, I guess, do they realise you've saved them, do you think?
They don't know, but I tell you what, I've got such a bond with them. They just rub all over me. They just want to be in my face. You've got different, they've all got different personalities. Some of them just want to be here, they're right up here against your face. Some of them like to smell your breath. They rub on your head. They rub all over your body. Some of them, they want to sit on top of you while you're eating your dinner, or they're nearly sitting in the fire, in the campfire. They just want to be as wherever you are, pretty much on top of you. So I am part of their herd. So they've been very noisy since I got back. They're screaming at me from the paddock. Every time I open the back door, they're like, oh my God, what are we doing now?
Oh, that's gorgeous. So go, Susannah.
Yeah, I was going to say, what is the life expectancy of your average goat?
So they can live up to 12 to 14 years. So,
okay.
Yeah, they can live quite a long time. And then for packing, it really just depends on how the goat take goes, how long you want to keep them for, what sort of terrain you're asking them to do as well. Sometimes as they get older, their teeth deteriorate, so it's obviously a bit harder for them to take in food. So that means that they can generally start to lose that condition as they get older. So if you're working them really hard, it can be really hard to maintain that condition.
Okay.
So do they grind like a horse? Do they, how a horse grinds to get the goodness from the food? Do they grind like that, or?
Yes, so I know they kind of eat and then they chew it, and then they eat and then chew it, and it comes up and down a couple of times. So they chew their crust. So they've got 4 stomachs, which actually means that the food that they consume is so finely digested that if they actually get rid of all of the seeds, or 99% they say of the seeds that they consume, so they don't spread blackberries or anything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, because people say that. I was talking to someone the other day, so I said, why don't you get some goats? They said, oh no, they'll eat the blackberries and then they'll pop out the seeds everywhere.
No, they won't.
They don't.
No, they'll eat them. They love them. It's their favourite. But yeah, no, they won't. They won't eat put the seeds out. Like deer and cows and stuff do. But yeah, goats are known quite. They're used quite. Especially in the States, they use quite a bit for vegetation management for that reason, because they'll generally target the invasive or the non-native species, and and then they digest pretty much everything in their stomach, and it just comes out as excellent fertilizer.
Yeah, because 4 stomachs, it'd be pretty cooked by the time it comes out.
I think there's actually someone around here who you can rent goats from for a period of time. I'm in the Adelaide Hills, and I vaguely remember seeing a thing at the supermarket notice board saying, do you want your blackberries gone? Rent a goat or 2. I'm a bit scared of them. My cousin's got goats on her farm, and they are vicious. They come out and boot you up the backside with their horns, if you're not watching. So you have to, when you walk across the farm, you have to hold a stick behind you and sort of wave it around like that.
A spray bottle with water in it works a lot more effectively than a big stick.
Oh,
That's how I change the
Oh,
big guys. Is they don't
brilliant
like.
idea.
I don't like the spray.
That's a
on their
brilliant
face.
idea.
Yeah, they just generally
Well-
don't like stuff. So
Okay.
So that that takes us on to, did you get the goats so that you could do the trek, or did you get the goat and go, what will I do with the trek?
well, I had wanted to do the trek. It'd been like nearly 10 years I've been thinking about doing it, but it's because it's such long sections, you have to carry up to 10 days worth of food. And like, I'm fairly petite, I weigh under 60 kilos. So you think about trying to carry all of your gear and then all of your food for 10 days plus water for some sections. Like, you might have to carry 2 days worth of water, which could be like 6 or 7 liters. So I have done a few big hikes like that, and it is really, really hard on your body. So, and I saw the goats, and I thought, this is just absolutely perfect because it means I don't have to do food drops. I can just pretty much go out self-sufficient for as long as I'm carrying non-perishable food. And like realistically, I took the 9 goats. With 8 or 9 goats, I could go for 2 months if I really wanted to. I'd just be really hanging for some apples or like a palmer or something.
Go via an apple farm.
Yeah, like flagging down motorists, being like, "You got any fruit? Like, anything fresh in that car?" So yeah.
And maybe you could get a drone in. Yeah, drones nowadays.
Dropped in by drone. So tell us where you walked, please, because I'm fascinated by this.
Okay, so the national trail, it was put together by R.M. Williams, initially designed as the National Horse Trail, and it was to get people more interested in horse riding and, that kind of Australian feel. I guess that's a really quick way to sum it up. So last year I walked from Healesville, so just outside of Melbourne, and it followed the Great Dividing Range. So I went through Healesville, Marysville, Narbethong, and then kind of like Big River, kind of down through up to Locola, so on Mount Skeen. And so that was 25 days. I did 200 kilometres, but I had intentions to go further, but it rained for 10 days straight, pretty much, and everything got wet. And I was like, I made the right call, because I was looking at the forecast and it was just like massive amounts of rain, and the goats don't like rain, and neither do I. So, and then so this year, so then I was like, come back from that trip going, all right, well, there's heaps of things I could do better. I need lighter gear. I need to take less stuff. I need the goats to be in better condition. They need to be fitter. And, so I've done pretty much my whole life. It's just been about trying to do this trip again. And then so this year I left from the same where I finished up. So Lazzarini for Jamison Locola Road at the base of Mount Skeen. And then we went through, so down through Rump Flat and then down... so Middle Ridge, down Blackpearl Gully, down through the McAllister River, near the Caledonia River, Butcher Country Spur, and then up to Mount Howard, so Howard Hut, and then snow there, and then drop down into the Wanangata Valley, and then through there up through Talbotville up into Dargo, and then from there it was about a few more days walking up into Omeo. So that was 270 kilometres in 26 days.
I don't know whether Callie can hear us, because you did send me some photos, but I don't know whether anyone can see. I can see.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Go them that way. The goats walking. Oh, that's not too bad, is it, actually? Who needs modern tech? I can find some more. They were good photos. So that's a good, lovely one.
Here we go.
She's
She's putting something up.
Oh, thank you. Here we go. Here's some photos. Yeah, so I love that. They do actually sit under the cover.
Yeah. So that's how I put them at night time. So I tie them up under a high line, and they all have their own spot. And you've got to make sure you're near your friends, because otherwise they fight all night long if they're near their nemesis. And then because they don't like rain or like even just the dew, just keeps them nice and dry under there. And so that's pretty much every night I kind of look for 4 trees to tie them up.
Nope, that's not dinner.
That's Harry. Harry loves the fire. Like he'd set himself on fire if he wasn't careful. Like you've got to watch him all the time. So,
he's got good horns. He's got really good horns.
So he's a boar or a boar cross. So he's a bit of a bigger boar. He's an excellent pack goat. He's like short and stout. He just goes all day long.
Yeah, right. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So that is coming kind of from Pioneer Racecourse. It's going through Howardsville, which is some private land through there near the Crooked River, near Dargo, kind of near
Yes.
Talbotville. So beautiful. I think it's the Wangangara River. Absolutely beautiful country. Beautiful.
Yeah, look,
Yes.
stunning.
It is gorgeous, isn't it? Oh, that's,
Okay. We're just about to cross the Crooked River there. So I just walk through now and the goats follow me. So they're pretty well trained. They'll just do the river crossing pretty easily now. But the first couple in the beginning, I tell you what, I had to really teach them how to get through. But yeah, we're pretty good at river crossings now. There's heaps of videos of it on my social medias if you want to have a look.
oh, that's gorgeous.
Oh,
That's Walter. That's down on the Crooked River. We waited there for the rain to kind of pass for a couple of days, and yeah, he's just a real smoocher. He just loves cuddles too.
So do you read? Is that what you do when you're in your downtime?
Yeah, I did. I was reading a book. Reading a little bit. I was reading Dare to Read by Dare to Lead by Brené Brown when I was out there, and I did read one like Australian kind of crime horror movie, horror book. That was really dumb. Like I was just like in the tent, like so, and then like really stuck on all the people I came across after that, and I had realised I downloaded like all these high country murder books and things like that, and that's not what you should be reading when you're at home.
Probably not, aren't we?
Yeah. But yeah, there's no phone reception out there, so you pretty much, but like you think, oh, you'll have heaps of time, but you kind of don't. By the time you set up camp and you get food and you do the goats, and then in the morning, on a rest day, it's a lot of like, have a nice meal, sit down, have a cup of coffee, and then, do your washing and kind of organize things and tidy things up. And then all of a sudden it's kind of 3 o'clock in the afternoon and you're like, oh, it's nearly dinner time.
Yeah,
So,
that's right. Exactly.
so I have some questions.
Mhm.
Do the goats come if you call them?
Yeah.
Like if, right.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So,
That's a good
yeah, if I
start.
call out goats, they'll come running. So,
Right. So if one doesn't go wandering off on his own, having a bit of a mooch around over here, away from the pack, they will stay.
really, no. So they are pack animals, and these guys are really quite bonded, and they really want to be together. And that's probably what you look for in a for what I look for in a pack goat as well. Like I did have one, which is that first goat that I got, George. He just had a mind of his own, so he'd just be like, I want to go over there, and then everyone would follow George, and I'd be like, George, that's really unsafe. Come on, buddy.
Mhm.
Like, so not every goat, like every goat can carry stuff, but not every goat is a goat.
Right. Okay.
Really about
Yeah.
temperament and making sure
And how many hours a day would you do just walking?
So some days, I think the smallest day I did was like 7 or 8K. Just that was just to move to the next spot, just as a light day. But then, I probably average like 15, 20K. But then sometimes it would kind of average 25 as well. Our biggest day I did was 30 kilometers, and that was a massive day. I gained and lost 1,200 meters of elevation. Then it was just because I just needed to get through to the next spot. So because it's designed for use with horses, obviously they can go pretty far. So, it's probably not necessarily really what you just would intentionally try and walk any other time is a little bit mad, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the concept is just alien to me. Bushwalking is just not on my radar, let alone with goats, let alone on your own, let alone overnight.
The terrain is just like extremely challenging. Like, you're walking up really rugged 4-wheel drive tracks, and it's like up and down. It's extremely steep, and then you've got river crossings, and and then you're kind of competing with the weather, and it can be really, really hot, and then it can be really cold. It's like,
There's my map.
There's your map. Yeah.
One of the most remote trails, I think. Like, yeah, pretty full.
Is yours a dark blue trail where you would have walked?
I'm not. It's a little bit hard to see there, but that kind of probably shows, the kind of area that I did walk. Yeah,
Where you started from, and where, as in
and where we finished, definitely. And yeah. There's not actually a lot of really public maps of where it is, because you need to be a member of the trail to kind of they sell the guidebook. So
Yeah. When I was trying to get the map. The other question I had was, how much weight goat carry?
So they can carry like 25, 30% of their body weight, but I wouldn't put that much on my goats. And I found last year that I did have them quite heavily loaded, and they just do so much better when they're lighter. Like they just don't even feel like they've got it on it. So I kind of put them at more like 10 to 15% of their body weight. So like I think the heaviest bags I had on them, one of them was wearing about 8 kilos. And, that's on a 100-kilo goat. So 107-kilo goat. So it's really nothing in comparison to his body weight. And then the smaller guys, they're looking at more like 6 kilos and they're about, like 70-kilo goat. So again, it's probably like, with the saddle, it's looking about 10, 12% of their body weight is kind of where I like to keep them. That's fine. Then you find that you don't really notice the difference between them having a pack on or not having a pack on at that weight. And so, yeah, and because you're doing such big kilometers, like normally a goat, they'll spend their day, they get up, they eat, they lay down. They get up, they eat, they lay down. So it's like they're every hour, they're like, oh, I should get up and eat some more. And then they just like lay down like Harry in that photo, and they sit down and they chew their food. So they obviously don't have the time to do that amount of eating and digesting that they would normally do. So they do drop condition a bit as you go. So you've got to either try and supplement their food, or you've got to try and make sure you're having rest days with really good amounts of food. But they're so funny. If I don't go over to the food, they'll just sit there with me all day long. I'm like, you guys must be hungry. Come on, let's go. Get up and walk over, and they'll start eating. So it's like they look at me for directions. So your whole day really needs to be focused on what they actually need and how you can meet their needs. So they were quite thin at the end of this trip, and I do because I only have 3 acres at home. I'm constantly battling worms on my property because the grass is quite short. So that's something that I'm trying to get better at working to manage, or potentially finding somewhere else to be able to rotate my goats through a local property or something like that as well. It's a constant battle, but I mean, I'm learning. I've only been in goats for 2.5 years, so there's plenty of things that I'm still learning and trying to understand about them. So.
I'll have to introduce you to the dung beetle man. I wonder if dung beetles would work with goat poo.
Yeah, well, I'll be open to anything that can help me with the worm burden on my property. It would be excellent help.
Yeah.
Would you say that the goats appear to enjoy the experience?
Well, I would say, like, if they didn't want to do it, they would just lay down and they would turn around and they would go somewhere else. Like, if they didn't want to have anything to do with me, But and towards the end of my trip, I got up and I had a big, fairly wide river crossing, and I walked up to the edge of the river. Like, I saddled them all up. We got ready, got to walk to the edge of the river, and they just got up and they walked through it before I'd even got there. Like, they just started walking through, and they lead the way the whole day. It's not like I'm pulling them. If I'm not dragging them up the hill by a lead rope, like these guys, I'm like, at times I'm struggling to keep up with them. They're turning around and looking at me going, what are you doing, Mum? Like, this hill's not that bad.
Because they're eager to get home and they're thinking, fucking, let's get this over with. Let's just get out of here. I want to be home. Or do they have spring in their step?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. So, I mean, I open up the back of my ute and they just all jump in, you know what I mean? Like, I might have to pull 1 or 2 in because they don't like being so close to each other. And I take them for a walk. They just look at me for direction all the time. So, it's not like, definitely not forcing these animals to be in anywhere that they don't want to be. They just, they're not running away. There's none of that. It's really amazing.
Yeah, that's lovely. That's lovely.
So they really are a domestic animal, really.
These guys are so domesticated. Like, I compare them to dogs, but I honestly think that they're more intelligent, and there's something different about them. Like, they just have such amazing personalities, and every personality is different. The same as dogs, they've got a bit of a different personality. But these guys are just they're so intuitive, and they're just really, really amazing animals. They have a reputation.
Do they get on? So they all get on, even being all male, but they're all gelded males, I guess, wethers. But do they argue, or is a pecking order?
Yeah, so I always say to people when they come up, and because everyone wants to come and see them, but my warning is always like, they won't ever intentionally hurt you, but they'll intentionally hurt each other, and you might get in the way. So if I'm giving someone attention, then someone else might be getting jealous, or there's definitely a hierarchy, like a pecking order within them. So if I'm giving one of the guys potentially with no horns a lot of attention, he's at the bottom of the pecking order. Leonard with his great big horns that are like, you know what I mean, like they're this wide. He's going to be up there in my face, rubbing all over me, going, "Excuse me, like you're mine, and I want your attention." So,
Do you know all
So
their names?
what are their names? You've got names for all of them?
so Munch, Crunch, Percy, Paul, Harry, Leonard, Walter, Wilson, and Nobby.
Nobby. We had a cat called Nobby once. What a great name.
That's good. Do you
Paul.
introduce? Well, I guess you haven't had them long enough yet to actually lose any. But would you introduce young goats into the pack?
So I've had 2 pass away. So one broke its leg, just jumped in and out of the trailer and just looked at me and then just had broken its leg and I couldn't do anything about it, which was really sad. And then actually since I came home, I've had one pass away, and I actually think he overate. So he overate and then got bloat, and I didn't catch it early enough, which is super sad. But I am constantly looking on the lookout for new goats to bring into the herd. So if anyone out there has got some really friendly weathers, let me know. But
Actually, what about a wild one? There's plenty of wild ones up in Northern Australia.
I've already had them. I don't need them. They're the ones that give me the bruises. But so you're best to introduce them in pairs. So I am looking at the moment at kind of what the best option is. Like, do I bring some younger ones in because they have a packing lifespan, and if I want to keep doing these trips every year, because I would eventually like to walk most of the trail. I'm not going to say that I'm going to walk the entire length of the trail because over time, since the trail was, I think it was 1988, it was put together, and the way towns have changed and the infrastructure and the roads and things like that, it's not all going to be suitable for what I'm doing. That some of it's like there's quite busy main roads and things like that, and it wouldn't be suitable to take livestock on. But yes, I'm always looking and thinking ahead into regards to what my kind of string looks like, and I removed some really bossy, really somewhat aggressive goats to the other guys to make sure they've got a really mellow bunch of goats, so it's really nice and enjoyable to hang out with. But if you goats beat each other up all the time and there's like horns flying around, it's not really that fun to go for a walk.
No.
Kind of like trying not to get bruised. They're not trying to hurt you on purpose, but you kind of go, oh, where's that guy?
I don't know. My cousin's goats, I'm sure they try and hurt me on purpose. I don't know.
Well, no, but they probably know that you're frightened of them. So take that spray water bottle in there with you next time and tell them who's boss, and it won't take long.
I love it when they molt though, and they look really scraggly, and they get those big. You can pull the fur out of them.
It's my favourite thing in the world.
Oh my god, it's fantastic!
My dogs are doing it at the moment. I just like out there playing it.
It's fantastic fun.
Yeah, I give him a brush. They love a brush. Harry, he loves a brush. Like, he just thinks it's the best thing in the world. He'll just sit there for an hour while you do it to him. He thinks it's awesome.
So which one have you had the longest?
I think Nobby and there's a few that I kind of got around about the same time. So my original guys are Nobby, Leonard, Harry, and I think they're probably the 3 oldest guys I've had for the most time. So there was a bit of change, and I just did these amazing hairy little rangeland guys from up near I think it was from up near Mansfield, from this lady, and they were beautiful goats, and she loved them and I loved them, but they just scaled, they just were jumping like a fence here, just with no issues at all. Electric fence didn't matter. And I live on a fairly busy road, so it's not something like if you jump into my backyard and then jump out, I would be a hazard to people. So, as I said,
that some goats, aren't they, that they can jump?
Really jump. These can jump, and they can actually jump out of my paddock if they want to, but they're quite happy and they choose to stay in there. Like, I've seen them jump higher than the fences, but as long as they have enough food and stimulation and they feel safe, generally they'll stay where you keep them.
So when you say stimulation, what do they like to do in their spare time?
Laying around and chewing most of the time, but I mean, if you have a lone goat on its own in the paddock and it's looking for company, you're likely it's going to try and wander, or if you had a female or a male that wasn't higher, they're obviously going to go looking for a mate as well. So with the weathers, that's something that's definitely a little bit easier to manage too.
I know what we're going to ask you about the packs too. So are you thinking about making your own packs?
I am, definitely. So
yeah, right.
I looked at purchasing the gear from the States, and just the cost, because I wanted to take 12 goats on my last trip. The cost of doing that was phenomenal. Like to purchase it from the US and then to bring it across, it was going to cost me, you know, I think it was like $1,200 a goat to bring this stuff in. And so, you know, with 12 goats, it starts to pretty much make packing not accessible for me. So I learned how to build all of the gear working with Putnam Packgoats in the States. He gave me a lot of the designs, and he was like, you should just do this yourself. And he's been really supportive and supporting me kind of setting up my business to start making them accessible to other Australians. So hopefully in the new year, I've started to order all of the materials, and I've been speaking with a local manufacturer to work with do some of the metal for me. So I'm trying to make it a little bit less onerous on myself. So I'll do all the sewing and the assembly. And so I'm really hoping that I should have like an online store and things like that soon. I'm getting like this Facebook page has gone crazy. I think I had 17 followers when I left, and because no one was really interested. And I think it's like 15,000 now, and it's jumped up in like 2.5 weeks. And it's like I can't get the notifications on my phone and the comments and the questions. It's like I need to donate an hour of my day just to kind of get back to people with all of their questions. So it's amazing that people are so interested in just me walking with goats.
Well, it is interesting because when you think, you know, there's been a big push to get back to nature now, for people to get back to nature and get into nature, get off your screens, get away from everything, go and do something outside. So that might be why you have so much following now.
Yeah, that's it. I guess for anybody who is trying to get into it, is just to make sure that you are getting permission to take the goats into the locations that you start. That, you know, like you can't take goats into national parks unless you've got permission, or like, you know, there's an agreement with the National Trail that you can take goats in there. And then I've been working with a rail trail recently to get permission to walk the goats along there too. So, you know, but you could just go and do this stuff, but it's a bad name for other people, and it's going to ruin it for other people. So I'm really, really conscious of trying to do everything the right thing and making sure that I'm not, you know, breaking any rules.
Yeah, because it did happen. I believe some people brought goats up here to the high country, but they got turned around because they didn't have any permits or anything. They thought they were just going to go for a walk.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a great idea, I guess, but, you know, maybe they just didn't understand where they were taking them. I'm not sure. So.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's
Kelly asked a question. She said, can you use goats for therapy for people like they use horses for horse therapy?
Yeah, that's something I've also been looking into as well. So I've got 4 big guys, like they're quite big goats, but they've got no horns, and they are just like the sweetest big babies ever. And so I've been thinking as well about if there's an opportunity to do, you know, even if it's go for a walk through town or something like that, where you get the, you know, and it could be an all accessible thing on, like, you know, a wheelchair access trail or something like that, where, you know, you can just take, you know, you walk as far as you can that your ability allows. So it's something that I might, when I find a bit of time, to have a discussion with Wellington Shire and see if there's a location that I could do something like that, because it's such a cool thing. And, you know, I've met people up there, this girl on the long weekend, and she's like, I've never seen a goat before. Like, this is amazing. Like, she's from somewhere in Melbourne, and I was like, oh, please touch them. Like, get in there. We're always getting selfies with the goats and everything. And that's the coolest thing about this, is that, like, people will be driving along and they're like, what? Oh, my God. Like, they get out of the car and they have a huge smile on their face and they're like, oh, I've never seen that before. Like, this is the last thing that I expected to see out here. And then they're like, wow, they're big goats, you know. And they're like, why? Why are you just like a tiny girl out here with these goats? So
living her best life with a goat. That's what Michael was saying to me before we came on, is that people are just wanting to just enjoy themselves and not be like, we see so much horror and so much misery and you know, everyone's struggling in their own way, you know, whether it's financially or whatever, or your family members are struggling, whatever. We're just to see someone who's doing something for the pure joy of it. It's just terrific, and we should all be doing something. Yeah, we should all be doing something.
It makes you happy. It's better for you all around. You know, it's calming.
cafe. I'm in the Adelaide Hills. I think I said that before. There's a cafe that's opened in Harndorf recently, and it's. I was so rude about it when I first heard about it. I thought, well, that's never going to work because they've got a guinea pig display in the.
Eat them.
Right, okay, so there's a cafe upstairs, and then you go down some stairs, and there's like the guinea pig, and they build a little miniature village down there, and they rotate their guinea pigs so that you don't always have one poor sad guinea pig down there. And you can pay money. You pay money, and you go down and see the guinea pigs, and it's been so successful.
Wow,
They don't eat them, do they?
Hey,
They don't eat them. They don't eat them.
No.
Like they do eat them in countries
Oh,
in
I
South
think in
America.
Mexico, I think they eat them, don't they? In Mexico, or something?
Yeah.
They definitely eat them. I think it's America, yeah.
Yeah. But yes,
I don't-
people pay money to go and see guinea pigs and have your photo taken with one.
Have you ever been to a cat cafe where you can go and pat cats?
No, because I've got 4 cats.
There's one here in Adelaide, but no, I've never been.
It's been a bucket list is to go and really understand what the cat cafe deal is. So maybe that's what I'll do on the weekend, go to a cat cafe.
Cat cafe. Oh, well, that's like my house.
Yeah, I've got a cat. Do I need to?
I've got 4 cats, and as you said, they've all got different personalities. They range in age from about 6 or 7 through to about 20.
Yeah, wow.
They're all different. I can see why though, because it is calming. I mean, they talk about a cat purring so many hertz, and they purr at different levels, and that means different things. And
Yeah, they are.
I get that. Yeah. That's funny.
Animals really are just the best, aren't they? And even goats. Who knew? Who knew that goats were cute and cuddly?
Yeah,
And
they are so affectionate. They are really. I got so many videos to post, and like it should make like a completion. There's just like they're just rubbing on my face all the time. They've messed my hair up, knocking my hat off. Like just like trying to sit down. I'm like, guys, come on.
because they just want to be near you.
Yeah, and like I'll sit down. So like I'll get to a spot where we're walking, and I'll sit down in the middle of the track. Generally, it's in the middle of nowhere. And then they'll sit on me, like they'll try and sit in my lap. And I'm like, come on, man, like you're like 90 kilos, like get off me, you know, it's hot. Don't sit over there, don't eat something.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And actually, that's what I mentioned earlier, I think, before we came on about, and you didn't come across any wild dogs on your trek?
No, so I didn't actually see them. I saw prints quite a few times, and I saw when I was at Collins Flat campground just near Dargo, it was really, really, really still, and it was kind of raining, and I'm sitting around a really small fire, and the goats and I were all huddled in, and honestly, I'm just giving them all pats, and they're all just, you know, it was actually a really nice moment, but being very, very quiet, I guess, and probably quieter than normal, and then all of a sudden the goats were like, it just felt really still as well, like it was just a little bit eerie, and then there was a deer honk, and then maybe about 10 minutes later all of the goats are up and they're all looking, so they're all really alert, all of their ears popped up, you know, really like right, like, you know, full stance, and then they could obviously see something, like, because they never do that, and then they relaxed, and I was like, well, that's really weird. And then, so I was like, oh, I'll get up and I'll go for a walk. And so I walked back around, and basically, like, I must have been like 3 or 4. There's obviously dogs with their footprints, and I'm not going to get into the dingo versus wild dog argument, but so like quite big prints, like the size of my hand, you know what I mean, the width of some of the prints. So potentially like a mum with a couple of babies, or just, you know, a couple of juvenile dogs. And so they'd obviously come right up, and then whether the goats had frightened them or whatever, and then turned around and left, and then that probably put the wind up me a little bit, because like all night I'm like, you know, I've moved the goats really close to my tent, like pretty much on top of my tent, and you know, and then I've, you know, kind of stoking the fire up a little bit so that I can, you know, have a bit of light, and I have music playing, but you know, there's no issues. Like everyone, that's the biggest thing that everyone proportioned me. Everyone's like, oh my god, the wild dogs are going to be really, really bad. But you know, I've done, you know, touch wood, I've done 470 Ks now, and I haven't had an interaction with them. And I don't know whether that's because the goats are wearing bells, or, you know, because it's quite a large group. But, you know, as people say, they do attack sheep and things like that. But, you know, that they wouldn't have ever seen anything like that before. So
No,
maybe
the goat won't run. I reckon. I reckon the goats would be too big for them, maybe 2, if the goat wouldn't run, so who knows. But what about deer? Did you see many deer?
No, I didn't see deer at all. I saw plenty of prints, but no deer. And yeah, a couple of times I heard them honking in the evenings at the campsite, but I didn't actually see them. And again, I think the bells, they deter most things. Like you don't really see.
They wouldn't have heard bells often before, would they? It would be a new sound that would freak them out.
And like so, back when they used to graze sheep up there, they used to put sheep bells on all of them to deter the dogs as well. And it's no different. Like in the States, if you go hiking in bear country, you put a bell on your own bag, and that's meant to deter the bears and big cats and things like that as well. So it's worked so far.
So ladies asked a question. Valerie's asked, do the male goats ever get amorous with anybody, the females of any persuasion? So
yeah, one of the they're really funny. So like an undersexed male goat can be very bored, and like they're disgusting, to be honest. They really are disgusting. Like they'll wee on you. They put their penises in their mouth. They'll rub up against you. They'll try and rub their wee on you. Their smell, they're disgusting. And so my goats are normally pretty good. But, I had this one guy who had been desexed, and it mustn't have been done properly. So either he had an extra one or they missed one. And, I don't know if this is too much information, but this guy could tell when I was ovulating. Like, it was insane. Like, it was terrible. Like, you'd be like, I'm not going out there today because he's looking pretty happy to see me. Like, you pick your days. You're like, I don't like getting weed on today. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Oh, wow.
Come on, just go and wee on the female. That's
okay, so if you get male goats, it's very important to have them properly desexed.
Well, it is a goat thing, and people talk like it's quite funny. So, but I guess if that could be a way if you wanted to know really time your cycle well, the goat could probably tell you.
Oh,
God. Conception Australia.
Unbelievable.
Funny. That's funny. Oh, that's great. That's been
so
great.
Can I just ask one more stupid question?
Mm-hmm.
Where do goats come from? Where are they?
That's a really good question. I think is it India? There's some from India, and I'm not actually 100% sure. I feel like I did read that once before, but then they've all obviously been introduced to Australia and lots of places.
Yes, I can imagine there weren't goats here before the white people invaded.
No.
No.
Definitely introduced to Australia.
So I wonder where they came from.
Because a Dorper sheep, the Dorper sheeps that lose their wool, you don't have to shear them. Mm-hmm. To me, they look like a goat. And somebody told me the other day they were from Namibia in Africa, those Dorpers.
Yeah,
the sheep they drop their wool.
Yeah, those Dorpers are really strong sheep in comparison to like a merino or something. They're kind of scary, to be honest.
Yeah, they're big. We've got 4.
They're really strong-minded sheep.
Yeah, and they're quite inquisitive too. I mean, we can't actually pat them, but they'll come up to see what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they do look like a goat, I reckon. So I wonder if there's some connection there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't think we'll cross a goat and sheep.
This guy just said sort of like the No Goat Show. Sorry, that's quite funny.
Very good. That's right.
It's so nice to talk about something light and fun, and I learned something again tonight, so that's good.
Oh, that's great. I love talking about
further education of the silly old lady. I'm still learning. That's good.
I think most people learn one. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. You've got to learn one new thing every day.
Sick of me talking about goats. I was glad to talk to someone that actually wants to hear about them.
So I'm following you on Instagram now. I'm very excited to keep up with your progress.
Yeah.
Great. I've got that many videos to post because I didn't have phone reception out there. So I'm trying to post something from my trip every day. And
of course, yeah. So if you had fallen into some sort of trouble, how were you going to alert someone? Did you have a plan?
It's called a Garmin Messenger. So it's like a satellite SOS messenger. So and it tracked your location. So I had a group of contacts that I was texting in the morning when I was leaving, and then when I was getting to my location when I was walking, and then they could message me and I could message them. And then amazingly, like there's no phone reception out there, but a lot of the phones now have like an SOS via satellite function. So a lot of the time it'd come up saying you've got SOS capability on your phone, even though you didn't have phone reception. So I didn't actually have to try it, but yeah. So I think with technology these days, it's getting, it's definitely changing. That's for sure.
Yeah, surveillance. They know where you are.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's it. So
probably. Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh, well, you have to keep us in the loop of what you're doing and when you're doing your next one. Because I'm sure people will be interested to hear about it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking to do maybe some stuff on a rail trail, maybe in the new year when it cools down a little bit, because the goats, they prefer it when it's about 20 degrees or under to walk. Anything after than that, then they start to get a bit hot. Yeah, and then
they come from a country that's not a hot country, so they should be able to narrow it down, shouldn't we, without
heat? Well, they do. They tolerate the heat, and they do it. But when they're walking, and you're walking up steep hills, and it's like 25, 26 degrees, like they're panting. They're working really hard. So I just try and work them. And if it was going to be that hot, I would probably get up at like 4 or 5 in the morning and start my trip early and be over and done with by the heat of the day. But yeah, but then I'll rejoin the trail again from Omeo in October or November, and I can hope that I can kind of work something out so I can go out for a bit longer this time. But 25 days I was pretty tired by the end of it. Like you're picking up and moving, and I think might have to work in some like places to have a bit of a break along the way, or stop at some people's properties and do some weed management or something along the way to kind of break it up and have a rest and sleep in bed and have a shower or something, because I've no issues spending time on my own. It's just it's just tiring work. So
yeah. Oh, that's great.
Full of admiration. Full of admiration.
It's wonderful to see it. It's great.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah. So Kelly has got a new, I don't know if it's a new song or I hadn't seen it before, a song to take us out with tonight that when they showed me before we came on air, it got me bawling my eyes out. It's just beautiful. It's a song that Michael wrote and then put the video together. It's a lady who used to be a ballerina and she's got dementia and she's listening to Swan Lake and she starts moving her arms in the memory of the dance that she used to do. It's just beautiful. So if you don't go until that's finished playing at the end of our show, because that will give you, if you feel like having a good cry, that would be a good thing to get you going.
Well, I think Michael needs to write a story about some goats now, a song.
Yes, or like a song. What about there's that song, My Highland Goaty, Oty, 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 Oty. That one. You could do something with that.
Exactly. That's right. Oh, thank you so much, Stella. Thanks for your time.
Oh, perfect. No worries. Thank you so much, and thanks for finding me online. It's again, as I said, I still can't believe people want to see pictures of me with goats, video of the goats, but it's awesome.
Good on you for finding her, Kay. Good on you.
That's okay.
Oh, someone's saying goat cheese is the best. So do you make cheese? No, you can't milk them because they're boys. No. I knew that. I knew that. If you had a girl goat, you could milk it.
If you had a female goat, you could take it out with you and you could have fresh milk straight from the goat onto your cereal or into your coffee. Straight but
then it would upset the male goats, wouldn't it? They'd all get themselves a bit amorous and be fighting for her.
With the weather, you should be okay, but you would run the risk of, if you were out there and there were wild goats, that you could probably get yourself into a bit of trouble. But yeah.
It's true.
Okay. So you won't be making goat cheese anytime soon?
Not quite yet. Maybe if the dream happens and I can get like a big massive property and more space, but at the moment on 3 acres I'm at capacity with 9 goats, so I'm probably overstocked. So yeah.
Up to Pussy's boat with goats. All right, Kelly, I think we're ready to go now.
Right.
Oh, someone's changed me to Cool As Cardi-Girl. I had just Cool As.
Cool as.
Thank you, Kelly. I'm not very cool. Thanks, Stella. See you, Kay.
Thanks, Stella. See ya.
See you,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Things change, things do up ahead. The story you're writing isn't written yet. This evening is only a paint in the morning. Your writer will begin again.
The ink you breathe is never dry, and you won't predict your course.